Just so it's out of your way. Whatever that is right now.
You're gonna have to go belt to ass.
I don't even know where she is. I don't even know who it is. But it's enough. Stop it. What?
Good, how are you?
There's feedback. Turn off the fucking light. There you go.
Just stop talking and figure it out.
Want me to go do it? I'll figure it out.
Feedback.
That's horrible. Hey Liz, what's going on with that microphone?
Good answer.
Thanks.
Hey, which
Brady
one? Hey,
says good
which one's
answer.
first?
Stand up.
This one? Go this one.
That's not funny.
Yeah, he trims.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Motor City Rockers hockey broadcast. I'm the voice of the Motor City Rockers, Brady Beaton, and tonight we start off a two-game set with the Watertown Wolves. Real quick, before we take a look at the Wolves, we'll go and look back at what happened last weekend. Your Rockers, they went out to Hudson Valley, to Newburgh, New York, to take on the Venom, and first night didn't go their way. 6-4 loss. In the loss, however, his first game back in the purple and black was Tristan Wells. He nets a hat trick, the first one of the 2024-25 campaign for Motor City. The next night, goals from TJ Sneath and Eli Rivers in the first 60 seconds, enough to lift the Rockers to a big 2-1 win to snap a 5-game losing streak. Ricky Gonzalez, the netminder, was between the pipes. He had 41 saves on 42 shots. That got him first star, a well-earned star. Also, Coach Jamison Milam's first career win as head coach. Congratulations to him. We'll talk with him in a minute for the pre-game coaches interview. Now, on to tonight's opponent and tomorrow's as well, the Watertown Wolves. They come in second in the Empire Division. They've gotten off to a pretty hot start, but maybe a few small caveats with that. One, they haven't really had to make road trips like the one they've made this weekend to Fraser. Their 2 road trips have been to Danbury for a single game and to Binghamton for a single game. And while no means are those easy places to play, little difference being on the bus for 3-4 hours than it is for 7, 8, 9 hours like they had to coming here to Michigan. Also, they had 1 game against Hudson Valley, canceled. Other thing you'll notice about the Watertown Wolves is that they score a lot of goals, but again, you look at it, piled up a lot against Dashers hockey. 20 goals last weekend, 11 on Friday, 9 on Saturday for the Watertown Wolves. They have a high-powered offense. They scored 7 in a game earlier this season against the Rockers, but that was before head coach Jamison Milam was able to kind of get his system in. We talked a little more with Coach Milam about that in a bit, but it feels like the waters are finally starting to settle down a little bit for this Motor City Rocker team. Now, big matchup against these Wolves. They split earlier this year in Watertown, the first time you've seen the Wolves here in Fraser at Big Boy Arena. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, you'll hear my conversation with Coach Jamison Milam. You're watching Motor City Rocker Hockey.
106.7 WLLZ. Detroit's Wheels is classic rock that rocks.
Metallica,
Guns N' Roses,
Aerosmith,
AC/DC,
Pearl Jam.
Ozzy.
106.7 WLLZ. Detroit's Wheels.
Welcome back to the Motor City Rockers pregame show. I'm now joined by Rockers head coach Jamison Milam. Coach, first of all, congrats on the first win as a head coach. I'm sure that feels good. You know you have a lot of work ahead to you, but what does it mean to get win number 1 in the way you did on the road?
Yeah, when you lose, it feels like you're never going to win, and then you try to implement what you think the team needs to be successful, and then when they do it, and it feels like you're getting through, and what you're saying has merit, and then. At the end of the day, the boys rewarded me with the hard hat and my first puck, and I didn't think much about it at the time, but on the long bus ride home that night, I was like, wow, this is really a big moment for me, and how much it really meant to me to, stepping into the role. I didn't have a lot of expectations for myself. I just wanted to help to make the team better, and we've had a really good few weeks of practice, and it seems like the guys are responding well to, what I'm trying to implement. And to have it come to fruition, especially in a 2-1 win on the road to a pretty high-scoring team, it started to run over through my head like, wow, that could have changed the game. That could have changed the game. And then I start to realize, wow, things are working, and we're making strides. And to think about my first win ever as a coach and what it could lead to, and for the rest of my career, it was pretty special to me. And I had a nice long talk with a couple of my buddies about it, and you start to feel more like you're where you need to be when stuff like that happens.
So let's talk about it. It was a 2-1 win. You guys scored before anyone had their popcorn at the game, and then don't score for the next 59 minutes, but the defense holds on, and that's something that if you look at the first dozen games you've had so far, defense hasn't really been there. So to hold on to get a win like that where, the Venom were coming, and then you're just able to hold them off, what does that mean that you're starting to maybe get that team defense you're talking about, and maybe it's starting to click in your system with the guys?
Well, the system, at the beginning was the longer we play in their end, the less they play in our end. But sometimes you can't get around that. So there needs to be a little structure, and a lot of it is just battling and knowing in the 50-50s when you need help and when you just got to throw the puck out and wait for another chance for another day. But that long time, first of all, coming out and scoring 2 goals in the first 48 seconds is obviously a huge boost for the team.
Right.
And when we can ride that high for the whole first period pretty much, and then I have to mention that Ricky he really kept us in that game, or kept us in the lead for that whole game. He played really, really well. And when we got somebody behind us, playing his butt off to keep us there, and then the guys are starting to say, well, I can't be the one that messes up today, and it's kind of a hold yourself accountable kind of a situation, which it's been difficult to do because I'm playing and, I make mistakes, and we've been shorthanded on the bench, so it's not like I can really hold anyone accountable the traditional way. So it's been like, hey, you're going to keep playing and you're going to keep having to go out there and do your best, and we'll learn as we go. And to have it all fall into place on a special game like that, because we're on the road and we were going through we're getting some curveballs thrown at us that weekend with our hotel and situation.
Always something, right?
Yeah. So like to battle through all the little stuff on the side, and then to come through like that, it was a huge win for us. And moving forward, we're going to build on it.
Well, let's talk about the team coming in here for a 2-game set. Watertown, they're off to a pretty hot start. They're second in the division. They score a lot of goals. Now, granted, a lot of those have come against the Dashers, who weren't so great, and another 7-piece against the Rockers earlier in the season when maybe the systems and everyone wasn't quite on the same page. But they have guys that can score, a couple guys in the 20 points already. What can you tell us about Watertown and how to slow down a high-powered offense?
Well, they, from what I've seen, they tend to cheat for offense a little bit, so their back checkers will kind of get lost on the back check and hope that the RD aren't paying attention. So I've made a note that RD have to be aware. Like if you don't see 5 of their guys in front of you, then there's probably somebody cheating back there. And they like to, they'll go out to the point to block a shot, and the puck will get by them, and then they'll just keep going. So they'll shoot themselves down for breakaways. And the last game that I watched, I think they had 3 in the first 12 minutes of the game. They didn't get any goals on it, but certainly we got to limit the amount of breakaways we give up against them. So we have to be aware that if your partner's taking a shot and that guy exits his zone, somebody's got to cover for him. And they're a quick team and they're quick transition, so we got to slow them down by playing the body and those little things, making sure we don't turn over pucks at the blue line, and making good decisions and holding on to it in the offensive zone and not just throwing pucks away, because that's what they want, is to fly guys and send them back our direction. So the longer we can control the game and slow them down by playing the body, I think we'll have a pretty good chance.
Sometimes in this league, you get teams that trade chances. I call it pond hockey. They want to go up and down. It's hard to stay in your system because they're willing to trade chances, and guys go, oh, I can get a chance here on a breakaway, a good scoring shot, and sometimes the game gets out of hand. How do you keep the guys in the system and keep them disciplined in your own end?
Well, I mean, just reinforcing it every shift, reminding them, staying in their heads about what we're trying to do and what time it is in the game and the situation. Sometimes it's hard to get away from that. You might just go back and forth for 5 or 6 minutes. There's no whistles, but then when things calm down, you got to remind them, hey, this is the kind of play we want, the kind of hockey we want to play. We want to keep them in front of us. We want to, limit their chances, because 5, 6, 7 scoring chances in a game, it's percentage-wise, it's probably going to be a goal against. So try and refocus everybody any chance we get. And now I have a couple of guys on the bench helping me out with Giuliano and Z, and he loves to be heard. So it's not going to be any problem reiterating what I need done through him. So.
Last question for you, real quick. Talk about those 2 guys having veterans of the league and Zach Zolkanich and Jonathan Giuliano behind the bench. So you have an extra set of eyes while you're out there playing. You can go back and they can see it from a coach's perspective.
Yeah, it's huge for me right now because I'm still in the lineup. I don't know how long that's going to be, but while I am, it's definitely necessary to have somebody back there, especially running the forwards, because it's pretty easy for me to handle the defensive side of it, being over there and sitting down. But they're both, kind of different approaches. John's kind of quiet, and he'll take a guy aside individually and tell them, tidbits here and there. And he's certainly got a lot of knowledge especially about the forward side of it. And Z is just one of those people that is heard, and and he has no problem saying what needs to be said, and he has no problem being involved in all parts of it. And now, he's helping me out of practice too. So it's definitely beneficial for me right now because I'm trying to stay focused on being able to play. After I put together what I think the team needs on the weekend, game-wise, I just kind of share it with him and remind him what he needs to focus on and what he needs to tell the boys, and then I can focus on playing until between the periods when we have a meeting.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate it. Congrats again on win number 1, and good luck against
up in front, shot scores! Numbers line now, shot scores! Here we go, Snitson, we got a full line roll! FPHL full line roll! Hell yeah!
Hey, this is Sathiri Karageorgis from the Motor City Rockers, and you're watching the Rockers Broadcast Network, powered by KE Electric Supply.
To go on the penalty kill. Draw will come in the Rockers' end. Blacksmith to take the draw. Clean win for their side. One touch pass, and Lord tipped out in front, never made it to Ricky Gonzalez, and we'll have a whistle. Gonzalez's helmet came off. That's an automatic stoppage. 24 seconds left to go in the minor penalty. On the draw, another win on this power play. The majority of this man advantage been spent in the Rockers' end. Lord sends over to Heinzner. From the point, slid past. Controlled Nick Miguel Diaz looking to get it up and out of the zone. Does the safety. 10 seconds left to go on the Mike Wynn minor for cross-checking. Final few seconds tick away, and the Rockers kill the first penalty of the night. Scoreless, 13:55 left to go, first period. Into the offensive zone, Mercurio pressured off the puck, slides, it's lifted up near the rafter, stays in play, hops into the corner. Wolves buzzing right now. Gingrich had his shot blocked. Rockers trying to bank it out of the zone. Nick Miguel Diaz controls it, goes behind Gonzalez. Pass picked off in a dangerous spot. No one can control it cleanly. Gagnon went down. Miguel Diaz, backhand bank to win. He's fresh after serving his 2 minutes. Josh Colton with the newly donned C on his chest. Taking over for Jamison Milam, who's now the head coach of the Motor City Rockers. Racing into the offensive zone, Sneath had it poked away as soon as he crossed into the Wolves' end of the ice. Milam in his own end. Quick decision to bank up near the red line. Baptiste had it knocked away. Back, Milam. He's knocked off the puck. Nice job by Lincoln Gingrich. We've said his name a few times here in the first 7 minutes and change. Right wing circle, shot blocked. Milam got in the way of it. Rings it around the boards. The outstretched stick of Baptiste knocked it away. We have a breakaway. Baptiste shoots, and it's sent wide of the net. Carson Baptiste looking for goal number 4 on the season, and he can't record the shot on goal. 12:19 to go, first period. Goose eggs on each side for Watertown and Motor City. Puck in the Wolves' end. Battling for it on the near side, Karageorgos settling it down. Wolves get it between the blue lines. Tomasi sends across to an Infantino who was down on a knee, couldn't really control it. Wolves still have possession. Lord into the offensive zone. Shot goes high and wide. Banks off the glass. Tristan Wells there to corral the rebound. Can't get it out of the zone. The Wolves take it out themselves. They have to touch up. It allows Cody Oakes to bring it in behind his own net. Rockers much better in their own zone. You can tell that is something that Jamison Milam, a defenseman by trade, he's really going to emphasize that with his team, and you can tell much more disciplined in his own end. Shot, and it's bouncing around. It's still loose, and Gonzalez finds his way on top of it. It's loose, and when you're a goalie, you don't know where it is. You get as big as you can. He found it, covered up the frozen biscuit. 11:18 to go in the first period. Zeros each side. Ricky Gonzalez, he's been leaned on the last couple of weeks, and he's been a player you've really seen grown over the last 365 days. I think not only is he gaining more confidence, but the team is realizing they have a pretty good netminder in Gonzalez. And throw Babin into the mix. It's a nice 1-2 punch when you have them both. Out in front, on the backhand, poked away. Gonzalez makes the save on the soft shot. I believe that was Josh Colton that got in the way of it. Another turnover, shot hits off the skate, and all the way over 3 lines. Gingerich back skates, picks it up. Pressured by Raleigh off his skate, and it's controlled by Borotkin. 10:48 to go, first period, scoreless. Wolves and Rockers here on a Friday night in Big Boy Arena. On his own end, Trevor Lord. Over all 3, that is number 86, Kyle Heitzner, as the Rockers chip it ahead. Baptiste on his horse, grabs it on the backhand, and it's nearly spanked in off the back of Borotkin. Instead, he freezes the puck and will take a rare draw in the Wolves zone. Draw will come to the right of Anton Borotkin. TJ Sneath to take it for the Rockers. That's Mark Botero for the Wolves. Draw goes to Baptiste, and it's poked in deep. Chasing after that was Eli Rivers. Slides to the far corner. Rivers racing after it once again. Back behind the net, Sneath out in front, one-timer, and it's just saved. Back out in front, and no one can settle it down. Milam lets one go. It doesn't make it 2, but Borotkin battle for it, and the Wolves just trying for some relief. They'll get an odd man rush, 4-on-3. Blacksmith, offensive zone, shot, and it's off the chest of Gonzalez. Excuse me, that was Patakin on the shot. Back to the blue line. Wolves turning defense into offense. Patakin backhands to the left wing. Tomasi shot in close, bouncing around, and Gonzalez able to settle it down once again. Gonzalez standing tall in net. He's done well through the first half of the opening stanza. 9:37 to go in period number 1. Neither side has lit the lamp. We'll take a quick break, come back with more action. You're watching Motor City Rockers hockey.
Hi, Avery Smith with Motor City Rockers. My favorite thing about Crunch Fitness is their free weight section. Bench press, dumbbell bench, I'll do rows, about anything you can think of.
I'm Chris Byes. I'm currently on the IR. Crunch Fitness has got a lot of machines, weights, super beneficial for PT, for my injury right now. They got a nice turf over there too, which is super helpful.
Satiri Karageorgis here. But one thing I really like about Crunch Fitness is the tanning beds. Rain or snowstorm outside, I don't miss a day in the sun, so I'm always getting my nice bronze color.
Hey, this is Josh Cullen from the Motor City Rockers, and you're watching the Rockers Broadcast Network powered by KE Electric Supply.
Back here at Big Boy Arena in Fraser, Michigan, scoreless between Motor City and Watertown. The Wolves heavily outshooting the Rockers 12-3 here in the early going. And if you look at the first part of the season, first 5 games in particular, Rockers were outshot pretty heavily in all 5 of those games, including a 2-game series in Watertown. Now, this is a hyper-offensive Watertown team. Ricky Gonzalez, 12 for 12 so far, knock on wood. Seems like he's in a zone right now. 9.5 minutes to go, first period. Each side looking for that opening goal. Been a game with a lot of flow, not too many whistles. On the near side boards, chipped up near center ice. Oakes slashes it in deep. Wells chases after it. believe he was offsides. He was. The near linesman had the right hand up. They need to touch up, and they're saying somebody did not get back on sides. And that will bring the draw, I believe, all the way to the Rockers' end. Indeed, it will. A lot of the play has been to our right. Wolves have been attacking. On the draw, Blacksmith with the win. Back to Flanagan, horseshoes it around. It's cut off by Miguel Diaz. No, it slipped all the way to the far side. Back near side boards, Mercurio has it on the stick. Leaves it back. This one slowly rolls to the far corner. Tristan Wells, the first one there to retrieve it. On the backhand, slides behind the net. Miguel Diaz out of his own zone. Had it poked away. Poking, prodding in front of the Rockers bench. Goes back to the Wolves blue line. Couple D-to-D passes turned over. The other way, Karageorgios, far half wall. Works around one defender. Bottom of the right wing circle. Shoots and it goes wide of the net. Rings off the glass. Coming in, keeping it in is Josh Colton. Turned over. Rotundi couldn't settle it down. Poked in, and the Rockers stay on the offensive. Trying for a little bit of sustained action and a delayed penalty. And I believe the Rockers are going to go back on the PK for the second time today. Ryan Rotundi, the guilty party. 2 for roughing, and the Boo Birds come out in Frazier. So Rotundi 2 for roughing. Wolves will get another look up a man. Draw to the far side of the Rockers zone. Sneath with the win. Over to Mike Wynn. Banked off the high glass. Can't get it out of the zone. The right hand of Graspy. Near side Flanagan shot. Never gets off the ice. It's sticked up into the netting. Only a dozen seconds has elapsed in the roughing minor to Ryan Rotundi. 7:59 to go, first period. Now, sometimes for a goaltender like Ryan, or for Ricky Gonzalez, when you're facing constant shots, you get into a little bit of a rhythm. You know, obviously you don't want to face, I think he's up to about 15 shots against right now in a period. But for someone like Anton Borotkin, he hasn't had to face a lot, so he's done a lot of standing around. And sometimes when the other side gets a rush, you're almost a little rusty from standing and watching. Watertown has spent a lot of time in the Rockers zone. Shot doesn't make it to Gonzalez. It's tipped up and past him. Another draw. 1:36 left to go in the man advantage for Watertown. They'll send on a new unit. Heitzner. Let's see who else is out there. You have Trevor Lord. You have Mercurio. It looks like Blacksmith, and taking the draw, Trevor Newman. Rockers send out, you got Gagnon, you've got Sneath. Josh Colton out there along with Jake Raleigh to try and kill the penalty. In between the hash marks, shot off the stick of Gonzalez. Picked up by Raleigh. Can't get it up and out of the zone. A lot of time of possession for Watertown. Time on attack huge right now for the Wolves. Hasn't netted them a goal through 12 and a half minutes of hockey. Back to the point. Far side Mercurio. Slides it up. Blacksmith has it poked away. Back to Mercurio. Raleigh with the pressure. In close. Tried to tap it back out. Raleigh finally banks it out of the zone. They'll go out for a change. 4 new fresh bodies coming out in purple. 45 seconds left to go in the Rotundi minor. Another clear will slowly slide down the ice. Long pass. Wolves don't waste any time trying to get on the offensive. They want to push the pace. They will sacrifice some defensive integrity to try to get back on the offensive rhythm. It's quickly cleared. Flanagan at his own end. Poked away. picking up near side. Botero has it taken away and sent down the ice. Tomasi can't get there in time. That is a really long shot on goal for the Rockers. They don't have a ton, so taking one there. Take them however you can get them. 10 seconds left to go till Ryan Rotundi, a free man. A chance for one final rush on the power play. On the near side. Back to Flanagan. Rotundi out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Shot doesn't make it to Gonzalez. Rockers a perfect 2 for 2 here in the first period. Down a man. Now seeing if they can shift from defensive mode to offense. Wolves have been pushing the Rockers. Shot shouldered away by Gonzalez. Wells pokes it away. Chip back in deep. Tomasi guarding the puck. Spins back around left wing circle. Stick handles himself into a dangerous area. Slides near side, no one home. Coach Milam picks it up. Pass tipped away before he can get to Wells. Uses that long, lanky arm to at least get a piece of it. Kuhn can't settle it down. Sent in deep by Ross Bartlett, and we will get an icing call, the first one of the night. 5:24 to go, first period. Zeros aside for Watertown and Motor City, but folks, don't be deceived. This has been very much tilted in the Wolves' favor here in the early going. Karageorgios to take the draw for Motor City. Wolves control it off the draw. Watertown in their own zone. Motor City's been aggressive on the forecheck. It's led to a few opportunities, not always a shot on net. Trevor Lord into the offensive zone. Slides far side, fakes the shot. Wells steps in front of a pass. Rockers looking for a breakout of their own. Karageorgios slides to Wells, fakes the shot, right wing circle, shot, and it's off the glove of Borotkin. Nick Miguel Diaz picks it off. Left wing circle, shot swallowed up by Anton Borotkin. 2 shots in the span of a dozen seconds. And Borotkin finally breaking a sweat out there. And just as the Rockers get a little momentum, we'll stop for our third and final media timeout of this first period. A period that has been flying by. Still scoreless after just over 15 minutes of play. You're watching Motor City Rockers Hockey.
106.7 WLLZ. Detroit's Wheels is classic rock that rocks.
Metallica,
Guns N' Roses,
Aerosmith,
AC/DC,
Pearl Jam,
Ozzy.
106.7 WLLZ. Detroit's Wheels.
Hey, this is Jake Raleigh from the Motor City Rockers, and you're watching the Rockers Broadcast Network, powered by KE Electric Supply.
Welcome back into Big Boy Arena. And folks, I hope you settled in early. Hope you got your popcorn ready before the puck was dropped. Haven't been a lot of whistles, haven't been a lot of time for bathroom breaks. If you've stepped away, while you haven't missed anything on the scoreboard, man, the up and down action has been back and forth. It's been a fun game so far between the Rockers and the Wolves. Offensive zone draw for Motor City. Guys in purple control it, dumped in deep. Chipped into the far corner, Sneath. Cross crease pass broken up. Wolves flip it up and out of play. That should be delay a game, and the Rockers are going to go on the penalty or on the power play. Now, if that goes into the bench, they're fine. It went up and over, and going into the box is Kyle Heitzner, the leading scorer for the Wolves, second in the league. And that means it's time for a Rockers power play powered by Continental Electric